Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on issues involving families, particularly in Michigan. And today we're going to continue our video series designed to educate the public, so please subscribe to our channel. Does a person automatically have a lawsuit if they're injured in the deployment of fireworks? The quick answer is no. No, you don't. Remember what a lawsuit is. In essence, a lawsuit says somebody did something wrong. As a result of what they did wrong, I suffered a loss, an injury of some sort, and therefore I'm making a claim. So just because you have an injury doesn't necessarily mean you have a lawsuit, because the first question is, what did somebody do that was wrong? If it turns out that at the end of the day, you're the only one that did something wrong because you mishandled a firework, you didn't find out how this is supposed to work, you did it wrong or whatever, guess what? There's nobody to sue because you can't sue yourself. In situations, however, where, for example, somebody misfires a firework and instead of it going up, it goes straight and somebody's injured, that person can certainly sue the person who was handling it on the theory that they did something wrong. They mishandled the firework. They misdirected it. They weren't careful in discharging the incendiary device. This is the kind of thing you can certainly blame somebody else if you can find that they did something wrong. A lot of people have tried to blame the manufacturer, being that, I bought this thing, it went off, it's their fault that I hurt myself. Well, the question is it? Did you mishandle it wrong? Did you fail to follow the directions? If a person, in fact, followed the directions, did everything we're supposed to do, and the thing, somehow malfunctioned, I suppose there might be liability against the manufacturer and those who put the item into the stream of commerce. One could look into that possibility, but always got to remember, just because a person gets injured, it's not the lotto. You're not just going to get money, and some court isn't going to write and hand you a check. That's not how it works. You've got to find the liability. You've got to find somebody that did something wrong, and then you have to speak to a lawyer to determine, is what that person did wrong, is that causally related to your injury such that there is a lawsuit? That's sort of the dynamic of these lawsuits. So you always got to look at that, and you've got to look at yourself in the mirror too. Yes, you were injured. Did you contribute to your own injury? Were you more than 50% responsible for your own injury? Different states have different laws regarding what we call contributory negligence. There used to be a law here in Michigan, for example, many years ago. If somebody had an accident, let's say in a car, they were in a car accident, and it was partially their fault because they were speeding, they weren't attentive, whatever, the court would look at the value of it and give them an award based on the part that they were not at fault. If it was a $100,000 case and they were found 80% at fault, they'd get $20,000. They would lose the 80%, but they'd collect the 20. Nowadays, for that kind of thing in an auto case, we don't have that. The rule now is if you're more than half at fault, you don't have a case. So you've got to look at it. You've got to figure, what's my personal responsibility? What's my contributory negligence? And while you're doing all this, don't take too long. Remember one thing, the Michigan statutes, as well as all statutes in all states, have limitations. They have a guideline set up before which one must take action, after which you no longer can take action. In most negligent actions here in Michigan, for example, and I'm not necessarily talking about fireworks, I'm talking about negligence in general, it's a 3-year statute of limitations. But that's not always the case for every situation and every time. You've got to find out what your particular case is and have your attorney tell you what the statute of limitation is. Suffice it to say that you need to bring your claim sooner rather than later, lest you run afoul of the statute of limitations, and now you can no longer bring your claim because it's time barred. So you got to watch for that. If you have a question about your case, reach out, and of course we'll be glad to help you out.